Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. So I know some of you guys might be wondering why I'm all rugged up, but here it's winter. And I know a lot of you guys have been talking about how great it is to have all these cool summer horror flicks out. Well, it's winter here. I cannot relate. And then there's some of you guys make fun of me because you say my winter isn't cold. Right now, yeah, it's not that cold. It's only 15 degrees Celsius. But it did get down, it was like 1.6 or something this morning. I don't know, very early, probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, I'm not used to that. I live for the warmth. Not really, I hate hot weather, I hate cold weather. I like that little tiny month in between. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is another monthly favorites, and let's get straight into it with starting with what I've been watching on Letterbox as usual. If you don't follow me on Letterbox, check it out. My name is Spooky Astronaut and I'll follow you back if you follow me. So before I start, I just want to say that I didn't watch a lot of movies this month just because I was away on holiday. You would know if you follow me on Snapchat or on Twitter or maybe even my Facebook. And I was also really into TV shows this month, so movies not so much, but I will get back onto that this month. Let's start with Beavis and Butthead Do America. Speaks for itself. Wasn't as funny the second time around, I have to say that. Dark Places, which is a really weird fucking movie, and I probably wouldn't recommend it to you guys. It seems like it'd be cool if you look up what it's about, but not that great. Dirty Grandpa, if you like Zac Efron without a shirt, definitely your thing. Kung Fu Panda, which I thought was quite cute. Sacrifice. This one I will have a review coming out. Very interesting movie. Doesn't mean it's great, but it's very interesting. And next I have The Hallow, which is definitely a recommended film, which I will have a full review out on next Monday. The next film I watched was The Black Coat's Daughter, and if you don't know about this film, it used to be called February. I don't know why they changed the name, but it's the one with Emma Roberts. I don't want to give it away, but there's one aspect that it's almost like it's misleading the audience. And then you look it up afterwards and it makes so much sense. And it could be such a straightforward story, but they try and trick you in a way. Let me know your thoughts if you've seen it down below. The ones below. That was actually a pretty good movie. That's more of a thriller type movie, more of an indie film. I definitely recommend checking that out if you like thrillers. It's about two couples that live in the same kind of duplex and they're both pregnant at the same time. And it's very sinister. It's like, you know, the hand that rocks the cradle type thing. Definitely recommend it. It was a hidden gem. I really like that one. Following that, I watched Lights Out. You guys know how I feel about that movie. If you've seen my review. If you haven't, I do have a full review out on that. And that is a come with me review where you go to the movies with me and Dean. And Dean doesn't like horror movies, so I thought that was an interesting video. Next, I watched The Girl in the Photographs. Oh my god. This fucking movie, I actually have a rant that I filmed that I actually lose control during that rant. Let me know if you want to see that down below in the comments. Next I have Holidays, which I don't have a review for this channel. I'm doing a review for my Patreon, but pretty much I'm on the fence with this one. I don't think it was meant to be taken too seriously, and I think a lot of people took it really seriously, but I can understand good and bad points to it, as I can with all movies. Most movies, except for The Girl in the Photographs. Next, I had An Open Secret, which is a movie that one of you guys suggested to me. It's a documentary. It's really fucked up, actually. It's about within Hollywood, almost like a pedophilia ring. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. It's about child stars or potential child stars going to Hollywood and being passed around. It's a quite intense documentary. It's done all right. I felt like they did repeat a couple of things, but I guess that was in the nature. It was trying to show how many people that this happens to, and yeah, it's quite disturbing. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. It's not really a nice movie to watch, but it's a very educational movie to watch. So my favorite movies this month have to be Lights Out, definitely, and The One Below. I really liked that movie, and The Hallow. That's them. Definitely I would have to choose Lights Out. That's the one I gave the best score to. But I definitely recommend the ones below as well. If you haven't seen it, that's probably the one that you probably haven't heard of. So that's the most useful thing that will come out of my mouth. And documentaries, my favorite documentary. I only watched one documentary this month, which was An Open Secret. And as I said before, it's done well. It can be a little bit repetitive, but it's also very disturbing. If you're into learning about real stuff, no matter how brutal, this stuff, it's more disturbing because it's still going on. I'd recommend to check it out, but it's definitely not for everybody. It's pretty fucked up. Next, my favorite TV shows this month. Can you guess? Can you guess? It's definitely Stranger Things. And if you haven't seen my ultimate guide to Stranger Things, I'm sorry I plug so much, but it's because you guys asked me and then I have to repeat myself. If you haven't seen my video, if you missed it from Monday, it was actually our ultimate guide to Stranger Things, which talks about my review of the show. It gives some Easter eggs, or some Easter eggos, as I like to say, and some fan theories and some facts. I think it's a really good all-around type video, especially after you watch something like that, and I watched it alone, so I really wanted to talk about it, so I'm really glad that you guys are joining the conversation there. Another show that I've been obsessed with this month, it has to be Criminal Minds, and Dean and I have gone through the first season, and we're just on the first disc of the second season. I never really thought to watch this show. I thought it was more like a CSI kind of show, and it's all kind of the same, but I really like the aspect that it focused on serial killers. And I have that really awkward moment when Dean and I are watching it, and then there's something pops up and they're talking about some certain serial killer. I'm like, do you know who that is? They did this. And then, you know, that psychoness of loving serial killers come out. Not that you love them, but you're interested by them. And that's why I like that show. I recommend it to any of you guys who also have a fascination with serial killers, an unhealthy one. Definitely check it out. It is really old and it has some really old school effects. I'm pretty sure it's only 2005, but some of the effects are really funny, but you have to appreciate what they're trying to do there, and the characters are pretty solid. And if you want to binge something, I'm not sure if it's on Netflix, but if you want to binge something, it should be easy enough to find because it's so old. And I believe it's actually still going on now with Jennifer Love Hewitt in it, so hopefully I can catch right up to that. My favorite Instagram account this month has to be Manticore954, and this is actually a subscriber, and their drawings are amazing. You need to go check them out because they're just these fantasy, crazy, like intricate drawings. It's very like kind of horror inspired in a way. It's a little bit spooky. So I recommend just giving them some love and yeah, just check it out. And I know some of you guys are just as morbid as me. So this month, my favorite podcast is actually an episode of the podcast that I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's called How Does Dying Work by Stuff You Should Know. I'm sure you guys all know Stuff You Should Know. It's probably one of the #1 most listened podcasts in the world. Pretty much they take an aspect every week and they talk about it, but I listened to the one on the plane, it's so morbid, called How Dying Works. It's just about the body breaking down, and it's actually fucking interesting, and I really recommend it to any of you guys who, you know, like learning and some educational stuff that's a little bit morbid. I really enjoyed that episode, and I could have listened to it if it went a couple hours longer. They just talk about every single aspect and stuff I didn't know, like you can't get bruises after you die, and just weird things, you know, about bodies. And I normally find that stuff kind of gross, but I thought it was just really interesting, and I recommend if you have an hour to spare on a train, why not listen to a podcast about dying bodies? And my random category this month, I'm actually going to choose my favorite bands because a couple of you guys have asked me this before, and I thought it'd be nice just to talk about something different for once. So my favorite band ever is Radiohead. In case you haven't guessed, that is the OK Computer poster in the background. Some of you guys have seen that before. I also love Arcade Fire, Sigur Rós, Beach Boys. I love Queen. I love a lot of bands. I feel like I'm leaving something out, but those are my main ones, I think. And now for the monthly mission. I know you guys really liked this last month, and some of you guys wrote in the comments or like messaged me saying different films that you saw that you hadn't really given a full chance to, and I was really glad that I kind of changed some of your opinions, or I don't know, just push people to do something outside their box. Speaking of that, this month's mission is to watch a movie that you wouldn't really normally pick up. So if you saw like the cover art on like Netflix or something, and you just, you know, when you're scrolling through and you're just like, that doesn't look good, without even reading the bio or like the blurb, just watch it and watch something that looks completely out of your element. I mean, I'm talking about horror really, but it can be anything. Today I watched Ava's Possession and I really did not like the cover art for this film. It looked, I don't really have anything against it. It's not like it's a bad cover. It's just looked too new school and too like fantasy and zombie-like. And I was surprised because this movie isn't what I thought it was about. And if you guys want a review on this film, let me know. I wasn't really gonna do one. I did enjoy it in parts. I felt like it got slow towards the end, but I definitely recommend scrolling through Netflix or scrolling through, even if you have like on demand or something on your TV that lets you download movies, scrolling through and just watching a random horror movie that doesn't really look like your cup of tea. And it doesn't mean it has to be rated low, because this one was rated pretty high. And see what you think. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I hope that's a good mission. I thought it was pretty good. I did it today, and I can speak for myself that it was a good experience. I hope you guys are having a great day. Don't forget, I do have a Patreon, and if you want to join it, you're more than welcome to. The link will be down below. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.